Liggins at Clippers. Sindarius Thornwell elevates all over DeAndre Liggins.
Oh, no. Rest in peace, Liggins.
Okay.
South Carolina product, Sindarius Thornwell. CC, you're coming around to my side of things, right?
About what?
He got dunked on.
Well, that one right there, yeah. I mean, they didn't call it charge, did they?
No.
No, they called blocking. Yeah, he was sitting up under the bucket. Like, that was not a good decision.
Pelicans,
not good at all.
Clinched a playoff for it. Same game. Rajon Rondo off the glass for the alley-oop to AD. Rao throwing it down.
This one fooled me. I thought he was going to throw the alley-oop to the far left, but he saw AD coming down the middle. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, man, look at how far
Rondo
back.
has had a good year.
Rondo, a little Rondo resurgence. We saw him play well in the playoffs last year before he got hurt. But this is a hell of a catch by AD because it's not a great pass.
You could have done that, Nick.
Oh, the pass, yes. The dunk, not happening.
Back in your day.
Oh.
Because of the athlete in you.
Talk about a business decision. Beasley runs out of the frame. Oh, no. No, I don't want no piece of that.
I mean, he's not even on his camera on the third angle.
Look at that. Would you want to go up against that coming at you?
Beasley runs off screen.
Yeah, I was only disappointed because I thought LeBron was going to dunk on someone last night. We also happened to be at the Garden. I thought that was going to be it. But Beasley...
You have to be there to dunk on you.
Oh, my God.
He's running before the crime is committed.
Yeah.
Smart man. Moving on to LeBron's brief swoon with the Miami Heat. Quick recap. LeBron went to Miami for 4 seasons, won 2 titles before returning to Cleveland in the summer of 2014. In a new book just released, Miami Heat GM Pat Riley said at the time he wished LeBron had stayed, that the team could have won 5 or 6 titles with him, but that he believes LeBron, quote, did the right thing in the end, returning to Cleveland. Reportedly, LeBron and Riley haven't spoken since that summer. So, Nick, I ask you, what was your reaction to Riley's comments? They surprised you at all?
I mean, they were slightly surprising in the moment you read them because this was a bad breakup. Pat Riley, if we remember, pre-breakup, threatened, and threatened is the absolute wrong word, pardon me, questioned LeBron's competition integrity by saying, do you leave when it gets hard? Or do you stay? Do you stay and fight? He gave a famous press conference right after they lost to the Spurs in 5 games. A lot of people thought he was issuing a challenge to LeBron. Pat Riley then did not like the way LeBron went about his decision, and that relationship severed. And so when I first read it, yeah, I was surprised. And then I looked at Miami Heat's salary cap situation. I looked at this summer's free agents. I looked at the fact that Pat Riley's 73 years old, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's what this is. This is, to mix sports metaphors, a Hail Mary attempt at, hey, LeBron, like this summer when you're a free agent, you know, we'd love to have you back. Like, we'd welcome you here with open arms. Your buddy D-Wade, you saw how we brought him back? You saw how we mended that fence? Because D-Wade and Riley broke up on bad terms. D-Wade thought he was owed money, didn't get the money. They had a bad breakup. No, we smoothed that over. And we can clear up some of these cap situations. Like, so to me, this was the Miami Heat, led by the face of the Miami Heat at this point, Pat Riley, trying to get in the discussion. Hey, you know, your wife, she did sure seem to love South Florida. Your kids, you still own a home down here. Eastern Conference. There's a lot of things we can do here. That was my immediate reaction to this.
And there's probably a better chance because you have to consider this. If LeBron's going to stay in the East, which teams would he go to? And it's just no different than New York. There's a couple billboards, you know, trying to woo the king to come to New York. And if he's trying to stay in the East, we know he's not going to Boston. We know he's not going to New York. Why wouldn't you consider Miami? We know he's not going to Toronto. Why wouldn't you consider Miami with Pat Riley and the strong ownership that and knowing that they had a previous relationship? But to me, there was never a chance of LeBron potentially going back to Miami from the beginning. Because when LeBron originally made the decision to go from Cleveland to Miami, there was a lot of things that maybe Pat Riley discussed in the initial meeting, but once LeBron signed, that they didn't acquiesce on. As far as LeBron and his family and the type of access that they had to the locker room, courtside seats, all those things.
Access to the plane.
They became a problem immediately. So, yes, let's not forget, before LeBron went there, how many championships did the Heat have?
1.
How many finals appearances did they have?
1.
Okay, so he took them to 4 finals. They had only been to 1 final. They had 1 championship. and he gave him 2 championships.
Yeah.
But people talk about the end, but things started happening at the beginning of that relationship that LeBron did not forget. And also, let's not forget who he was going to play with. Dwayne Wade, at that point, was already missing 25, 30 games with his knees. Chris Bosh, I don't think was the best fit going forward with LeBron and his skill set. I'm sure there was question in LeBron's camp how long we can be good, just Chris Bosh and I, and Dwayne kind of being the third guy. So there were a number of other things that happened in this relationship before Nick said that they got their divorce.
Timing on this to write that whole book and have the excerpts come out right before the draft, and all of it seems to all match together perfectly. The one thing that, and I've asked you guys multiple times, what do you think is the most important deciding factor with LeBron when it comes to moving? You know, it's always been, I want to win titles. Like I'm you know,
it's
in
not,
year, whatever, 27 of my NBA career, if I have like a handful of years left, it's to go win titles. So when you say Hail Mary, this is like the quintessential Hail Mary.
Well,
but besides Popovich, wait a second, who's got a stronger resume than Pat Riley?
As far as building teams?
Yeah,
do you have the time? Does he want to go somewhere where you're going to take the time to build a team, or does he want to go somewhere where the Sixers already have a foundation in place?
Well, what if they get Kawhi? If they get Kawhi and LeBron in Miami?
Right.
There's a lot of
okay.
Sure.
And what we learned this year, as the Cavs just won their 50th game, is you put LeBron on any team in the Eastern Conference, they win 50 games. That's what we learned this year, given who's been on the Cavs this year. And I know we'll talk more about that later in the show. So, like, I think he feels like we can compete anywhere, at least in theory. Now, obviously, Houston, Philly, San Antonio, if they get it patched up with Kawhi, are all much better options to win now. But, Jenna, while the most important thing might be winning, that doesn't mean it is more important than all the other factors combined, right? Winning might be 30% of the decision. 20% of the decision might be longevity of career, 10% coaching staff, another 15%. Is my wife going to be happy? Are my kids going to be happy? Like, that's where Los Angeles has going for
and
them.
Miami could check off a lot of those boxes.
Absolutely right. And I also think the overall thing when we say winning, what I think we're really talking about is legacy. And that's why, like, there is an interesting basketball fit to be made for Milwaukee. But there's something odd about the LeBron James story having its 4th act be in Milwaukee that doesn't seem to fit with, like, the legacy part of it. Miami does allow that box we check. Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland, Miami. I don't think this is likely, but I will say this, Cece. Other than Philly and Cleveland, I guess now that Pat Riley's open to it, Miami would be 3rd place in the East. Of the teams in the East, I can't think of another one that's a real possibility other than Philly and Cleveland. So I get what Pat Riley's doing.
One maybe
here.
You might not want to admit, Boston.
Well, yeah, sure. If they could make the cap space work, absolutely, Boston. I think they'd have to trade Kyrie, but I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work.
Boy, wouldn't that make for a great
Celtic fans?
That would be a great end to that narrative. Coming up, can Eli and Odell make it work for years to come? We'll talk a little Giants on the other side. Next on First Things First.